What is up, you guys? The Fallout Whatever here. Hopefully my voice is better for you guys to hear, because yeah, I was sick for those couple of for at least 2 weeks. But I didn't notice that I was sick. I'm good now. Not 100%, like I am like on the verge of like I'm 90% good. It's just like the coughing, and pretty much I still have phlegm. I shouldn't be talking about that because that's weird. But I decided to do something fun. And this is gonna be, I don't know whether just to put this on like a special, because like this is something that I've been having in my head for a while. But this is what if Issei had Haki. Now, in this universe, I already screwed up. In this universe, Issei has Haki. And that's pretty much it. And there's there's other things too, but you know, he has all three Hakis, just so that way you guys know. No curiosity, no asking me any questions about that. Now, here's the thing. We'll start it off right now. As a boy, Issei Hyoto had this weird ability. He was 10 at the time, and he found out that he can basically punch somebody and it hurt a lot. That's what Issei thought at first. Until when he got older, he realizes that his hands, instead of being clear, he sees a coloration of black. His arms become black. And when he punches something, it doesn't hurt him. And he punches something again. The same thing happens. And he always wondered to himself, how did that make him special? But as he got older, by the age of 13, he got into a fight with this one guy who basically kept blocking all of his attacks. And when Issei got mad, he just punched through the guy, and he basically fell onto the ground, passing out. Izuku realizes that he has a weird ability. People say to him that his hands become black, which is weird. And he says, "What is it?" And he tries to go to the library. He tries to find it anywhere, even searching it up on the internet. There's nothing that refers to having your arms becoming black besides searching up how to get the best tans ever and top 3 people who tan their bodies to become a different color. He thinks to himself it's pointless. So he tells his mother, he and his father, saying that his arms become black anytime he feels it. And this is when the father says, "Son, come to the room with me. I need to teach you about the birds and the bees if you're thinking about anything." And he tells the mother that I got this, dear. The wife saying, "All right," keeps cooking again, and the father tells him, What are you talking about?" And he says, "Yeah, my hands turn black. They feel like they can destroy anything if I punch hard enough." This is when the father's like, "Ooh, okay, I never told you this, but you have something, me and you have something called Haki. And the fact that you have armament Haki means that you're probably the Haki that I had skipped a generation." And Issei was like, "What are you talking about?" Then he goes on explaining that, "Son, when I was young, I discovered this ability called Haki. My grandfather had it. His grandfather had it. It was mostly like the males in our household had it. And Well, not for not. A lot of us had armament Haki, and some of us had, well, what's the word here? It's a Haki. It's like oh yes. I'm sorry. It's called Conqueror's Haki, and another one's called Observation Haki. These are different kinds of Hakis that are used, well, in combat. You have Conqueror's Haki, which basically can make your will destroy other wills. I'm not too understanding of this whole thing, but I know that if you don't have Conqueror's Haki, and if your Haki is not stronger than the other's Haki, you can basically make them pass out or make them faint. And Izuku's like, what? And then this is when he keeps giving a whole demonstration on like what's armament Haki. He says that I have the clear one, which is nothing special, but you have the colored one, which makes yours stronger than mine. And there's a good chance that you may or may not have Conqueror's Haki and Observation Haki. And this is when he keeps explaining. He's like, what does that mean? And he says, the father says, well, turn on your, just think about telling somebody to stop. Think of like your mom getting hurt. I tried it before, but I'm not very good at it. If you think about protecting somebody or making somebody stop to an absolute halt, you can somehow override your body's functions to go just at a normal level and then go above and beyond. It somewhat awakens your whole potential. Observation Haki is something different. I don't know too much about it because only your two uncles had it. And it's like, wait, are you talking about your brothers? And he says, yes, it's only in my blood. It's only in my bloodline, or the male bloodline. I don't know if other people have it or not, but but I'm the only one that has it. Or the Hyodo household has it itself. I'm not too sure about it. They were talking about a long time ago when there was such things called devil fruits and Hakis and pirates and all that stuff. But then the worlds just stop. And this is when he says like, that sounds weird. Yes, but this they say this takes place in the pirate era or something like that. But I don't believe any of that. You know, it's just What do you mean, Well, I mean, it's just it's mind-boggling to think that there's let me guess. There's islands and all that stuff where there is people that look like fish people. Let me guess. There is a land full of clouds and stuff. You're telling me that's real? He says, "Look, I only know what I heard from the great grandfathers that wrote down all this. This happened generations ago." So basically what you're saying that is it hit me, and now I have this power called armament Haki. And this is when Mr. Hyodo said, yes, but like I said, over time, if you do have it or not, I will try to teach you as much as I know. So don't tell your mom. Don't use it all the time because I don't want people to find out that you have it, and I don't want you to get experimented on by a government or something like that. That'll be just weird. Why is the government gonna try to hurt us? We know nothing wrong and they love us. Yeah, sure they do. Alright. Now this is when Issei's whole life is gonna basically turn for the better. Issei goes to school and goes to the house, and he starts learning how to use his Haki and starts fighting with it. He starts bashing trees, and then he starts bashing like stones and starts using it more efficiently, not letting out too much because it's basically like just wasting his stamina. And over the years in middle school, he has met a girl named Candace. Now, if I remember correctly, Candace is the one with the pink hair, and she always calls Issei a pervert because he's still kind of perverted. But Issei and her just like usually get into arguments, and then she always tries to strike him. Issei just keeps dodging usually, and this is when Issei just like turned back, and then he says, "Alright, well, I gotta think right now. Father told me not to use armament Haki, but if I keep dodging, she might hit me. What do I do? Golly, if she hits me, then I'm gonna freaking get hurt. I'm gonna get in so much pain." And this is when Issei's not even thinking about anything else, and he's at a weird state of just nostalgia. When he first awakened his armament Haki, Candace basically tries to hit Issei, and this is when the moment he felt something, he just dodges out of the way and just thinks to himself, what do I do? Am I supposed to not use it? Or is there a way so I can weaken the Haki so that way it doesn't even look like armament Haki? This is when he basically bends over after she tries to swing at his back. And this is when Issei gets back up, and he's thinking to himself, what is it that he uses on her? Because he doesn't want to hurt her, but she doesn't want him to hurt him. She doesn't want her to hurt him. This is when Issei just realizes what just happened. And he's like, what the hell? Do I have it? Do I have the Haki? And Candace is like, how did you dodge me? I went behind you to hit you, and yet you dodged me. Issei's wondering, I don't know. I'm very confused as well. You're confused? How are you confused? You just dodged me without even thinking about it. You're just off into space. Space. Like I said, I'm still kind of sick. So, Issei does go and, well, he just starts running. Runs out of the school and basically tells his dad he has it. And this is when, did I say Issei or Izuku? Issei goes to the house, tells his dad, Dad, I got the Haki that you were talking about. And he says, wait, you got Conqueror's Haki? Oh my gosh, my son is a freaking genius. And he says, no, I got observation. Yeah, I guess we could work with that. And he tells him that observation Haki, as far as I know, is just basically seeing your opponent for a couple of seconds, and basically you can read their attacks. And Issei's like, oh, does it help? And he says, well, you're not gonna get into too many fights, hopefully. And Issei just starts whistling. And this is when he says, if anything, you're more likely to dodge a lot of people's attacks. You can see it clearly. Now, your great grandfather 3 generations ago had an ability where he could see, and before somebody even made a move, it was already there. I mean, like, he already dodged it before the attack was even made. So there's a possibility that he can see through the future. I don't know, actually. So, I'm sorry, but you may not have that. So, yeah, that's as far as I can tell you right now with that. But if you just learn, or just need me to at least whack you on the head, I think I can help you with the whole see through a bunch of people. And Issei says, "Yeah, no thanks. I think I'll be good. I'll try to do this on my own." Your loss. Now get out of here. Get out of here. Go to the store or something. Go to like the movies. Hang around with your friends. I don't have any friends, Dad. Make some friends. Oh gosh, Dad. Alright, well, I'm off. This is when he says, "Alright. Now, oh honey." And basically, there's no limit because it's kind of weird about, somebody's parents freaking banging. Now, Issei, he goes around the place. It's a store. It's a store. It's like a candy store. And Issei decides to get some chocolates. And this is when he sees a girl with white hair, and he bumps into her and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, little one. I didn't mean to hit you. Please don't get mad at me." And this is when he sees that her eyes are yellow. And it's like beautiful to see. And he's like, "Oh, hey, my name is Issei. What's yours?" And she says, "My name's Konako." And he says, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry for bumping into you. I didn't mean it." And she says, "That's alright. If you want, you can buy me a chocolate as an apology." And Issei says, "Oh, okay, I guess I could do that." So he buys her like 2 chocolate bars, and she says, "Thank you very much, and I accept your apology." And Issei's like, "I feel like I just got scammed. I feel like I just got like conned." And this is when Issei just goes and just lives life for a while. He starts learning how to train, and he throws a bunch of rocks in the air. And this is when he has to use his observation Haki, and learns how to grab it before it even touches the ground. And he starts getting better at it over time, where he now learns how to do, like, what's the word? He can grab it in mere seconds. So he's gotten faster as well. And not only that, his dad decides to use a BB gun on him to just like try to hit him. But Issei starts learning the rhythm of how he shoots. And yeah, he actually just learns more and more about his Haki usages, and learns what his limits are. Give me a second here, people. Now, Issei does when he goes to Kuo Academy, Issei goes and he sees that there's a lot of girls, and there's people that look at him now way differently before they saw a pervert, because he was still a pervert. They see this kind of funny, pervy yet kind of cute, because Izuku has trained. His body looks at least more muscled up than before, but it looks like he's like on the thinner side. Well, he looks like a toned out person. And Issei just uses like his first name most times than not. He's more chilled. He doesn't care. He just like talks to a lot of his friends, because he's gotten popular over the days, and people that try to bully other people, he's usually there just to stop them. And, well, there's one woman that doesn't like when he does that, and it's the president of the student council, known as Sona Citri. And she usually just nags at him and tells him that he is not allowed to do that to the students. And Issei always tells her that well, these students are not allowed to bully the other students. Yet, I'm usually just the one that protects these students while you're around your, well, desk? Yeah, you're around your desk twiddling your thumbs and not doing a thing. No, I will not listen to you. This is when she says, Issei, I know you don't understand anything, and you're not always thinking about yourself, but you're thinking about others. And Izuku says, what? Tell what is, there's gonna be a but in this, so please just tell me what it is. And she says, we as the student council can do this on our own, and this is our territory. We do not allow people that fight others just for an excuse. And Issei says, enough. This is when Sona just looks at him and says, she thinks to himself like, how dare you just say that to me? Issei looks at her with stern eyes and says, when it comes to fighting, I love doing that. I do that every day. I wish there was more fighting from time to time, but I know there isn't. But I love fighting, but I also hate people that beat down on the weaker people. It feels like there's not even a challenge to it. It's on easy mode. It's so much on easy mode that it just grinds my gears. Don't you ever feel like that when somebody bullies somebody, your skin starts to itch? When somebody hurts, if somebody was to hurt your friend Tsubaki, I think that's her name? Yeah, Tsubaki, her queen. If somebody was to hurt her, are you telling me that you'll just stand there and just say, no, that's not a good thing to do, just bad? Or are you just gonna start just swinging at that person? Me, I decided not to do anything like killing or breaking bones. But when it comes to the weaker people that need my protection, they're on my side on this. Now, I'll be on my way. And she says, nothing. She just stares at him. Whew, boy, kind of hard to speak. But anyway, she gets frustrated with him and says that he's not a bad guy, but he always just does things without other people's, well, thinking. He doesn't think about the other people. And this is when the girl that got bullied by this guy, she says, is there any way that I can speak to him? Because I want to tell him to thank him. Tsubaki says, don't thank him. You're only encouraging him. This is when one of the other guys says, well, what did you do? He was at least protecting us. You just had to get mad at him for this. And this is when some of the students are like saying, yeah. And, well, Sona just says, look, there's no need to get upset about this. Like I said, we're going to deal with this right now. And this is like one of the few times in her life she was like, had to deal with a crowd that was about to go against her. She's wondering, how did he just get the respect? And Sona, not thinking about this clearly, she doesn't speak or fight for the people. She only fights for the position and just does usually what she wants, just to maintain the what's the word, status of the school. But people see Issei as like this person that will protect them and nurture them and make them feel like they can do something with their lives. He actually cares about them because he doesn't want others to suffer. So this is when Sona talks to Rias, asking her why are they siding with him when all he's doing is just beating up people. And this is when Rhea says, could it be the fact that he's actually defending them from the people that are hurting them? And she says, I get that, but it's like, I usually punish them. And this is when Rhea says, well, maybe your way of punishing them is only giving them a slap on the wrist or telling them to go to, what is it called, detention or something. Which basically means that they don't learn that their consequences, their actions have consequences to them. They're more likely to take their anger out on them the moment they get out of punishment, which will just lead to a cycle of just hatred. And issei is just beating them down, laying down a what is it called? An iron fist. And she says, well, I don't want that around, but I guess I've been too hard on him. And Sona just thinks about it now. He's usually just selfless about it. She doesn't do anything but just give people punishments and just think that that's gonna fix it. Issei just sees the problem and deals with it cut and dry. Sona wonders how issei is like really. So she says, well, a couple of days later, she says, issei, you're gonna be joining me in the student council. Issei says, no thank you. And she says, this isn't up for debate. And issei tells her, yes, it is up for debate. I said no. I don't want to be dragged into this. Sheesh. I don't like doing any of that. It's too much work. I like lying down and taking my naps. She says, you will not be taking your naps with me now. And issei just saying, what are you gonna do, huh? Gonna suspend me too? Please, I'm used to this kind of stuff. And she says, as much as I would like to suspend you for what you've done, I realize that you've helped out people. And I'm willing to see how you do things around. I'm not giving you the position, but I'm seeing how you react to things. Maybe I could help out and be somewhat as knowledgeable to see how you can do things. So what you're saying is I can become president. And she says, no, I did not say that because you don't understand too many things about the president thing. And he says, but I want to become president. I issei Hyoto, I'm gonna be the student council president. It has such a nice ring to it. This is when she smacks him on the head and says, no, you're not. And I would thank you to not have this idea again. Issei says, party pooper. Now, Izuku's gonna join the student council president, and this is when a lot of people now see Issei there, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I guess if he's joining them, it's not so bad. And Issei just tells them that, sorry about what happened last time. Hopefully a lot of you guys that gotten bullied have gotten yourselves checked out and all. I'm gonna go check on to see if other people are gonna bully you. And we're gonna try to get this school to not be a non-bully zone. A no bullying zone. Now, after that, Issei is actually raising up the morale around school. And Sona could see that there's a lot of positive feedback now, saying that the student council is now on it. And, like, they're actually getting stuff done besides the bullying. Issei sees, like, things that are needed to be done. He worries about the people. The school's reputation can go eat a bag of hot dogs. But issei is just worried about how the students feel and seeing if any of them needs help. With that, issei gets a lot of people to have. He gets a lot of people's respect. Even Candace, who basically doesn't even like him, but secretly she does. But we're gonna save that for later. There's a lot of fangirling now over issei, the protector of Kuo giving issei big titles such as what issei the Protector, the Guardian of the Kuo Academy, the Warrior of Legends, just giving him these hyped up titles, and issei actually likes it. He likes being known and all that stuff. He wants to be not respected, but he wants to be somebody that people could rely on and not be scared of. And people do be suspicious at the time, be like, is he being a pervert behind the scenes? But most times than not, that's usually just pushed way to the side, because issei does help a lot still. And Sona just realizes how much she failed the school. And sees that this idiot right here, which again, he's not really smart. He's average looking, but because of how he is and the working out he does, yeah, he's now on the cute section. He's not even born in a high state or high society. Not even a devil, so that way people could see what's the word? How much he's changed? Or give him, it's I guess devils have this popularity with humans, but issei has none of that. And he's really what's the word? He's really just pumped about protecting. So a year goes by, and issei is just now living his normal life. He doesn't get to talk to a lot of people because he just tends to himself. But people do have his back. Whenever there's a bully that needs to get bullied, it's not even issei that has to protect them. Other students start protecting the kid by the bullies, and even have self-defense classes to protect themselves from bullies. But it's only pure self-defense, so it won't work against people that are punching him or anything. Now, there's what is it called? There's a note that issei's gotten about a girl trying to meet him and or something like that, and issei's ooh, a female. And he realizes that he hasn't talked to women that way. And, he hasn't gotten a girlfriend. The only times he's talked to women was Tsubaki, Sona, and Candace. But he doesn't think of any of them as, women. Not yet, at least. So Izuku is going to see this one girl named Rainaire. And Rainaire just looks at him and basically says, I want to be your boyfriend. And he says wait a minute, come again? And she says, well, I want to be your boyfriend. He says all oh yeah. And he quickly accepts it. Yes, he accepts it still, even though he should have Haki. He's not being controlled by Haki. He's being controlled by downstairs. So, for now, I'm gonna give me a second here. Now, after going with the whole dating with Rainaire, well, her name is Yuna Sukana or Yuno Yamada. I forgot her last name, but I know it's Yuna. She goes and talks to him and gives him like, stuff such as candies and sweets, and they're actually dating for quite a while. More than in canon, because issei is more better looking, I guess. And she kind of respects the fact that he's not a pushover. And for a while, everything seems to be great. Until Yuna asks him the question again. Will you die for me? And fudge, I knew I was gonna mess up. Issei says, no, not really. And this is when she's like, wait, what? Not really. And Issei looks at her with a smile, saying, there's no way that I'm gonna just let you kill me. And this is when he looks at her and says, I know that you're not really human. I've been knowing for a little bit. It kind of threw me off, but then after finding out that you are not the same as everyone else, you may probably be the same as me. And this is when she just says, I knew my facade wouldn't last for long, but I really thought that you wouldn't actually find out until later on when I, turn into this. And this is when Rainaire turns into her regular form, and Issei's like, wait a minute, I was like thinking of the, you're more of a stalker or a crazy maniac, but this took the cake for him. And Issei's just like, well, now I know why her aura is kind of weirded out. He looks at her and she says, for a mortal such as you to just find me out, to find out my true nature is actually actually makes me want to applaud you. But the fact that you're gonna die gives me no reason to do that. Issei looks at her and says, you really think you're just gonna kill me that easily? Nah, I don't want to die. I actually just want to keep living my life the way I have, without having evil people like you around me. And she says, evil people? Issei, I'm touched. After all this time, now you decide to be a little bit more bold. Issei looks at her and says, so why did you date me? Why, out of all the people, why'd you decide to date me? And this is when she says, well, because you have something that I need to destroy. Otherwise, you're going to be a threat to me in the future. Issei looks at her and says, a threat? I haven't done anything to you guys. And she says, yes, you haven't, but it's the future. I always have to be worried about that, and knowing who my enemies are, and knowing who my allies are. And unfortunately for you, you're not my ally. So, why don't you just be a good little boy and die? And this is when she starts throwing freaking light spears at Izuku, and fudge. Issei, she throws light spears at Issei, and Issei is just dodges a couple of them, and he says, come on, you really think that I'm gonna just let you kill me off? I'm getting tired right now. Why don't we just end this right now with one fell swoop? This is when she says, huh? Do you really think that you can actually stand a chance against me? And Issei just jumps up as high as he can, reaching a whopping 6 feet up in the air. And this is when he grabs her and then just sucker punches her in the face. Issei basically jumps down and actually sprains his ankle a little bit. Says, I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm gonna have to worry about that in the morning. And this is when she says, how dare you hurt me? Just die. And this is when she throws his light spear at Issei again, but Issei just tries to deflect it. This is when he gets a scratch on his arm, and he says, damn, I really thought that it would actually work. This thing never actually gets damaged at all. And she says, how are you possessing that? that of the Sea Emperor himself. And this is when Issei, looks at her, says the Sea Emperor, and she says that's a forbidden magic. It came onto humans for a long time, but nobody should possess such a thing. The only people that could have it is just the people in a bloodline that possessed it. Issei says, well, yeah, my father had it, and his father had it. And then he says, like, so many other generations of his, of the males in my family got it. And she says, sorry about that. And she looks at him, and this is when she actually sees his appearance. His appearance looks like that of the man that, the man that they were studying upon at one point. And all she just hears is a laugh. And she starts backing away. And this is when he just looks at her with a dumbfounded expression like, wait, what? And she says, I'll kill you one day. Just you wait. And Issei says, wait a minute. I'm gonna beat the crap out of you right now. You just hurt me. And not only that, I want everything that you get, that I got you at one time. And she just runs away, or just flies away at that point. And this is when Issei just notices that there's somebody on the tree. And this is when he's like, hey, who are you? Why don't you come down right now? And this is when Konako actually steps in, and Issei says, wait, Konako? How are you here? And she says, just sightseeing and all. And Issei looks at her and says, oh, yeah. You didn't see what I just did you? What were you doing? Nothing. Just, being myself. Are you being perverted? No, I'm not. Although, I saw some, a great pair of, birds that happens to correlate with the same name as the female, as one of the female bodies. And he just says, well, I'll be taking my leave. And Konako just starts walking away, saying, how do you know I was there? So, for a while, Issei just contemplates on what's happened. And he's wondering about the Sea Emperor. And he's just thinking, like, a Sea Emperor? He tells his dad, but his dad doesn't understand what he's talking about. So he just thinks that there's something that he's missing. But there's no point in thinking about it for too long, since, all in all, Issei just, he lets everything just go. He starts walking back home, because he did go to the store for a while, got something to drink. After all, he did fight a dark angel, a black angel, a fallen angel, without having any devil or angel powers. So that's kind of a good feat on its own. Now, until then, Issei just goes back to school like nothing had happened. But everybody forgot about who Yuna is. This is when Issei just wonders, like, did she do something to everybody? Why is nobody remembering who she is? Yeah, sure, it's not like anybody remember that they were dating at all. And Issei just realizes that he's single again. Now, this is when Sona actually looks at him and says, Issei, you're late. What were you doing this whole time? Issei says, nothing really. I just had a weird experience. And this is when she says, oh, weird experience, hey? Tell me, you weren't doing anything perverted to anybody today. Oh, did you? This is when Issei just says, no, 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 I wasn't doing nothing perverted. I just remembered a girl, and nobody believes that she's real. And this is when freaking Sona just gets like a little tick mark on her and says, if you're gonna be thinking about women, you should be thinking about what else what else to do in the, well, the student council, in the position of that. And Issei says, well, I did everything that I could. I had a lot more, so I shouldn't get in trouble. Issei, you're forgetting something. One day, if I'm no longer gonna be here, you're gonna have to run the student council. You're gonna have to be student council president to run the school. And this is when Issei says, "Oh, well, yeah, I guess, but I don't really want to be a student council member. I just want to be free. I want to be without any rules in this world." And she says, "That's anarchy." And Issei says, "No, that's not anarchy. That's just chilling." And she says, "Yeah, that's chilling and pure anarchy." Issei says, "You're no fun at times." She says, "I don't have to be. I have to be doing my job." He looks at her and says, "Touche. Now let's get out of here. Where shall we go today?" "I don't know, but I gotta find out what to do next. There's a lot of things that are coming to mind." She says, "Oh yeah, like what?" And he says, "Oh no, I just have a feeling something's off. I tried going to sleep, but I couldn't sleep at all yesterday. My body was in pain. I was even coughing a lot of blood." And she says, "Coughing a lot of blood? Issei, are you sick? Do you need to go to the hospital?" He says, "No, I don't need to go to the hospital. Maybe I'm just stressed out." And he just looks up in the sky. He looks up in the sky since they're outside now, and he says, "I wonder what's going to happen next. It's a big adventure for me." She says, "You're always thinking about doing something. You're not worried about, taking charge or any of that." But Issei reminds her, "Well, if I'm going to be student council one day, doesn't that mean I get to do anything I want?" She says, "No, that would be what a dictator does. You are a leader." And he says, "Well, I will lead in pure silence." And this is when the back and forth happens, and then she says, "Oh, I forgot, Rias Gregory wants you for something." He says, "All right, the girl with the big knockers." This is when she slaps him so hard on the head, he says, "How dare you? I didn't do nothing wrong." And she says, "First of all, that's my friend. Second of all, that is a woman you're talking about. Third of all, you don't be perverted." Issei says, "Oh, gosh. All right. I'll think about it next time on my own, without having you telling me anything." She says, "Gosh, you're such an idiot." Now, Issei goes to the occult research club, and this is when freaking well, what's her face? Ria, yeah, of course. Rias talks to him and says, "Hey, how are you? Why don't you have a seat?" And Issei says, "Okay, so what's on your mind, ma'am?" She says, "You don't have to be so formal. I'm just wondering if you're okay today." And Issei says, "Why wouldn't I be?" This is when Issei looks on the other side of the room, and he does see Konako. And he realizes, dude, she narked on me. crap. No, I'm gonna have to explain everything. And this is when Ria says, uh, you don't have to be so scared of us. We won't bite you. Besides, you're working with my good friend from a long time, so I wouldn't be so harsh on you. And Issei says, "Wait, I'm working with your friend? Oh, oh, you're talking about Sona." And this is when this is when Ria says, "Oh, so you're not using her formal name?" And Issei, oh shit, hold on, give me a second here. So, Issei, sorry about that, had to do something with the nephew. But anyway, Issei goes around the club and he's just walking, just saying, "So you guys heard about what's happened, right?" And they're just saying, "Yes, we know that you fought somebody. And she's not just somebody. She used to meet you." And this is when they explain to him that they know who she is. And Issei's just saying, "Wait a minute. You know who she is?" All I know is that she called herself a fallen. And this is when Ria says, "Do you know anything about the biblical creatures that were here?" And he says, "Well, yes, there's angels and demons. And there was also dark angels. We prefer to call them fallen because they've fallen from grace." Issei says, "Oh, that kind of makes sense. All right." And he's thinking to himself, "Wait a minute. How is she fallen if they were the ones that got dragged down from you guys?" And this is when she says, "Well, you got something wrong there. They didn't just get dragged. They had impure thoughts, and that's what turned them into fallen." Issei says, "Oh, alright. So, are you telling me that she's not really human?" "That is correct. And I dated somebody who was biblically whatever older than me." She says, "Yes, you're actually you know, picking up on everything quite well." And this is when he says, "Oh, okay. So why are they picking me?" And this is when this is when Ria says, "Well, because you have an ability." Or what Konako says, you might actually have a sacred gear. And this is when Issei says, "Sacred gear?" Well, this is when she explains everything from sacred gears to gods, devils, and angels, and the wars that happened, and the Welsh dragons, and the freaking Red Dragon and White Dragon Emperor. And this is when Issei's just like, "I'm having a headache here. I really don't like learning all this stuff." And Rias just says, "Look, as much as you don't like it, you're just gonna have to face it." And she says, "Face what? I just found out that my girlfriend was a freaking fallen angel. Now I know that there's more than just that." She says that, "Look, you're gonna have to possibly become a devil and join us, and that way we can protect you." Issei says, "Nah, I'm good." This is when Ria says, "Well, please, I need you to join us. What's the word? I need your help because I need to get through something. I have a goal of my own, and that goal requires your your attention. Issei says, not a chance. I may have some power, but I have no need to protect. I don't have no need to join you. And in the end, it's my decision. And she says, very well then. This is when Kiba says, you really not gonna join her? She can offer you a lot. And Issei says, no thank you. I don't want to join anybody that needs me. If they need me, then I can help them out. But I won't join them or be some kind of, wait a minute. Join you? What are you talking about, join me? Are you talking about, like, the club? Or are you guys fallen angels as well? And you're gonna try to kill me or sacrifice me to a god? And she says, no. Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it, since you kind of feel that way about us. This is when she just shoots out her wings and says, I am Rias Gremory, of the Gremory household, and I am a devil. And Issei says, I shouldn't have asked, shouldn't I? Nope, but you did. So in the end, I think you probably just did that on your own. This is when all of them showed their wings, and Akino was just like, my. Why don't you just join us, and I can have a little bit of fun with you, Issei. Issei looks and says, fun? Give me a second here. So, after a while, I'm sorry about that. After a while, where was I at? Freaking Akino trying to have some fun with him to freaking, what's his face? Issei denying it, but, secretly just like, if she was by herself right now, I think I would have lost full control. Issei is just telling her right now, look, telling everybody, just saying, look, I don't want to join your club. I don't want to be a devil. Maybe in the future I will have to, but right now is my time to be normal. I've already lost so much of it, being an idiot and wasting it on being scared. For a while, this is Issei's backstory. Well, this is Issei's story in general. When he was young, he never actually wanted to be perverted. He wanted to be a hero. He wanted to protect people. Like just imagine like generic Power Ranger lookalike and calling himself Mr. Super or Bionic Man or freaking something. Just imagine your own childhood where like somebody dressed in like a costume, protect the innocent, and now apply that to your own childhood. There was a superhero right there, and that's what Issei wanted to be. But he faced reality and realized that everybody just bullies the weak. Even the people that look like they're heroes or look like they mean good, none of them really care. All they do is just say they do. All they say is, oh, we can protect these people, we can all be united. But nobody does anything, including the person that brings it up. Issei decides to become somebody who can protect others, but also live out his life to where nobody should hurt him. This is when Issei truly became free, and by protecting people, he didn't have to worry about others. And now he has to. And now that there's devils, fallen angels and whatnot, now he has to be worried about a target on his back. So, Issei's life is now, well, it's going through a loop. Now, Issei actually, in this one, since he did not die, he goes and just talks to students and lives his normal life until he meets a certain somebody. This somebody happens to be a good girl. And in this case, it is a blonde girl, which we all know and love as Issei bumps into her. And he looks at her and says, "Oh, crap, I'm sorry." And he says, "Nice panties. How they say it in Japan? Panties? Panties or pantsu or something? I really don't know." But he's just like, I gotta save that one for later. And while helping her up, he says, "Hi, sorry about that. My name is Issei. I didn't mean to hurt you or anything. I didn't hurt you, did I?" She says, "No, I'm okay." And this is when he says, "Oh crap, you forgot your hat." This is when he accidentally grabs a pair of pink, I think a white panty with a little bow in the underwear, and he says, "I'm sorry. That's not well. I'm gonna just shut up right now." And she says, "I'm the one who should be apologizing. I just made you go through so much trouble just for me." And he says, and this is when Issei says, "Don't worry about it too much. Look, we both made a mistake, and now we're just, helping each other out." But anyway, is there a reason why a nun is here in this place? I know you should be at a church, but the only church that I know is kind of closed down for a long time." And this is when she says, "Well, that's not right. I know they told me to go to this place." And Issei says, "Oh, well, in that case, it's all the way over there. Next by the hill. But it's kind of far, and not only that, people can get lost, even though it's right freaking there. So I'll just walk you for a while. How does that sound?" And this is when she says, "Well, that sounds lovely." Issei says, "Okay. Well, let's just be on our way." So they walk, and they get to the church. This is when Issei says, "Oh, I know that I should talk to you for a little bit more because, well, it's kind of cool to see somebody new around, especially a cutie like you." And this is when she blushes a bit and says, "Well, I'm not that cute." And he says, "Lies. You are the most cutest thing ever. You make puppies look down in shame." And this is when she starts blushing a bit, and she says, "Well, I should be going now." And Issei says, "Oh, yeah. Sorry I got carried away. Bye." And he just, well, goes back to, his home. This is gonna take long. I think like around an hour, 30 minutes, or just an hour and something minutes. But hopefully you guys like the story. Now, Issei gets back to the house, and when he comes back to school, Sona's there, and Rias is there, and they're now all in the student council. This is when Issei says, "I see. You guys are, well, what's the word? You guys look like you're pissed." Now, Rias says, "Issei, I want to tell you something, but I need you to brace yourself." He says, "Alright. Hey, wait a minute. Is that alright if you tell you... does your friend know that you're a devil too?" And this is when she says, "Well, I didn't know then. I would know now. Thanks for actually keeping a secret, Issei." Issei says, I don't know why, but the sarcasm in your voice shouldn't be used right now. And this is when Sona says, that is sarcasm, because I too am a devil. And he says, wait a minute, what? Come again? I'm a devil, issei. And, and this is when issei says, you know what? Thinking about it now, your attitude and everything, yeah, you're a devil to me. This is when she just throws a freaking book at him in the head, and she says, regarding that, not regarding that, I forgot what that name is. I'm sorry if I keep messing up in this what if. She says, besides that, I am a devil, and so is everybody here. And this is when issei says, alright. Now this makes sense. You're all devils, and I'm the only one who isn't a devil. And she says yes, which means, it means that you all suck at your jobs, even though you guys are, for some reason, supposed to be the ones that can manipulate all of us to peace. Man, and you had a human help you guys out? Shameful. This is when Sona just throws another book at him, and this is when issei just looks it looks like he's mad, because the second one shouldn't be called for. But at the same time, Sona's like, well, you shouldn't have said that either, issei. Now we both suffer. And issei says, who's suffering more? I'm not the one with the book that's being thrown in my head twice in a row. And she says, if you keep your mouth shut, none of this would happen. Issei just says, whatever. And he looks away. But Sona says, issei, I want you to join my peerage. And this is when he says, wait, what? And she says, you heard me. I want you to join my peerage. I don't want you to join Rias's. I prefer it if you help me out. I need your help still. There's a lot of work to be done in the school. But there's also things that I can help you out. Oh, well, I can help you with the whole power that you have within you. And not only that, you can also be your own person with a vast amount of strength and so much physical power. You can see nighttime. You can hear more clearly. You have night vision, so it wouldn't be that bad. And your reflexes are 3 times better than normal humans, depending on how many chess pieces I give you. This is when Issei's going through this whole thing of like what are chess pieces and like what he's gonna be given. This is when Issei says, I see, so I'm a pawn. I don't think I like this one, Chief. Why can't I be the queen? I can be both strong and powerful. And she says, sorry, but the queen's already been given to Tsubaki. And Tsubaki is my faithful companion. She helps me out with everything, including big headaches like you. Issei says, oh, that's what I just said is not uncalled for, and what she says, okay. I demand representation. I demand rights for all idiots everywhere. And this is when she says, you're the biggest idiot out of all of them. Now listen up. If you don't want to join me, I won't force you. Like I said, like Rias says, we don't just push ourselves onto people like that. But I'm just giving you this chance right now. Do you want to join me? If not, I won't bring it up unless you bring it up. And Issei says, no, I don't feel like being a devil right now either. This is when Sona just turns away and just says, well, if that's all, I want everybody to leave. I have a lot of work to do. And this is when Issei just starts walking away. And so does everybody. And this is when Rias just is the last one to leave, and she says, "Girl, you're not being honest with that. You're not being honest, and that honesty can cost you." This is when Sona just looks away, and she just sitting down with her head on the looking at the floor, and she just calls Issei an idiot. Issei, on the other hand, just sneezes and says, "I feel like Sona's talking about me. Nah, no need for this dumb superstitious stuff. I got a lot of work to do." And after a while, everything seems to be okay. What with Issei now being good at his job, now learning how to do things with the faculty meetings, and also giving people like the right to join a new club. It's basically called the All Hands on Deck, and basically everybody helps everybody else. Somebody can help somebody with one thing, or somebody can help somebody out with another thing. It's just giving people now opportunities to be more impactful in others' lives. And Issei does do a good job at that. He's actually creating new bridges with people. And by the end of the day, he goes to see that there's somebody waiting for him. And it happens to be Asya. And Asya, sheesh, looks at him and says, "Hey, Issei." And this is when Issei says, "Oh, hey, Asya, how are you doing? It's been, what, a week or so? I'm glad you're doing alright." And Asya's just happy that Issei's okay, and says that, "Issei, I need to tell you something. I'm a nun, and, well, I'm also a follower of God, and I was wondering if..." Sorry about that, people. You did not need to see that. This is oh gosh, dude, I'm gonna kill them so badly. Okay, so Issei just looks around, looks at her, and says, "You're a believer of God, I see." And she says, "Do you want to join me at the church?" And Issei says, "Oh, well, alright, I wouldn't mind." And basically along the way, they're talking about different things and about hamburgers. Asya never having one. Issei just shocked beyond all belief that she never had one, and says that she's missing out on a truly glorious thing. And this is when, after a while, Issei just says, "Hey, you never had a friend, huh? After everything you told me about being a heretic and having to come down here, why don't you be my friend? I can be your first ever friend, and I'll make sure that we get to do a lot of dumb things together. I know this is a first for even for me, but I think we should just be friends. We can do some cool stuff together, such as schoolwork, if you ever do go to school, though, because I don't know whether you got to school or not, but it's really amazing. Do you think?" And she says, "I would love that, but now I don't think it's such a good time." And Issei says, "Oh yeah, sure. I'm sorry about that." Issei and her getting into this whole, like, romantic situation, but Issei says, "Hey, we're here at the church, so what, do I have to do some kind of special prayer or something to get in?" And she says, "You never went to church?" He says, too many times. I don't know how the customs work now. Something's always changing. Give me a second here, people. Alright, so issei once he steps into church, he's just, well, looking at the place, and the place looks dainty and dark and stuff. And this is when issei does meet a guy named, well, sheesh, now I forgot him. But it's the creepy guy that basically kills demons. And this is when issei introduced himself, saying, "Hi, my name is Issei." And issei talks to the exorcist, and basically these two have, like, this talk for a while, and issei is kind of creeped out a bit, but he just laughs it off. And then he sees 3 other people, and one of them has like a high skirt, another one has blonde hair, and another one has he has a what is that thing? A trench coat. Now, issei, once he goes home, he gets called by Sona and says, "Issei, I don't want you going back to that church. Do you hear me? That church is bad news." And issei says, "What are you talking about? There's a girl that's a nun. She actually needed my help a while back, and she's very nice and sweet." And she says, that's a bad territory for devils. If they find out that you know us, they might kill you or try to hurt you to get to us. And he says, "I can handle myself. Besides, if you two are, royalty or something like that at your place, then you guys wouldn't need a hostage like me, because I'm not in your peerage." And she says, I don't want you hurt, alright? So if they do know that to get to us, it'll get to you. From them to get to you, to get to us, then I don't want you hurt. Alright, issei? Just promise me you'll never go there again. And issei says, "Fine, I'll promise." This is when, a while later, issei doesn't go there for an entire week. And issei walks around and just says that he wishes to meet her one final time or something. To not say that, to not go without telling Asya that everything she does was for naught, and to tell her that at least he'll be her friend forever. But he didn't have to do that, because Asya was there, talking to issei. She was meeting him. That's what I keep messing up right now. Issei basically says, "Asya, what are you doing over here?" And she says, "Well, I came to talk to you. I don't want to go to the church again." And this is when issei says, "Oh, I see. I was told to not go over there to the church because of, something being bad for some other people." And she says, "Well, the reason why I don't want to go back is because they're actually bad people." Issei says, "What do you mean they're bad people? I thought they are the whole, religious holy types." And she says, "Yes, they are, but they're over religious. They're bad and wicked, and God wouldn't want them to do that." Issei looks at them and says, "Ah, so they're bad people. Alright. But how did you leave? Wouldn't they know where you're at?" And she says, no, I ran away. And Issei realizes that. Did anybody follow you? And she says, no, not really. I was all by myself, but then I left. Issei says, alright, well, let's just have fun. And she says, fun? Issei says, yeah, let's just have a good time. And this is when they start playing video games or playing arcade games. They actually get something to eat. Issei actually buys her a burger, and it tastes very, very delicious. With the cheese, and the meat, and the pickles, and the tomatoes, and the lettuce, and the freaking onions, and the mustard, and the freaking ketchup. Ah, gosh, now I'm hungry. R.I.L. at least. Now, Issei, after that, finds out that Rainaire is alive. And he also realizes that these other three are not human. And this is when Asya says, Issei, I don't want to alarm you right now, but I'm not sure if you should protect me. They told me that you're a human that that possesses some kind of strength of a sea devil. And Issei says, yeah, they warned me about you, or she warned me about you. And Issei says, did they now? Huh. Well, I'll tell you this right now. I'll protect you. He gives her the biggest smile ever, and just says, I don't let any harm come to my friends without a fight. And she says, friends? Issei holds her hand and says, yeah, I told you once and I'll tell you again, as many times as you need actually. We're friends. So it's time for me to protect my friend. And this is when Issei just starts running towards them. With this, Donasik actually grabs a freaking, what is it called? A light spear and just throws it at Issei. But Issei just jumps over it and tries to get to him. But he flies away. But this is when Issei senses the other girl with the girl with the red dress. And he says, I'm not letting you take me that easily. Grabbing her and just throwing her away from throwing her away from him. And this is when Mathilde tries to hit him with a light spear, but he just crushes it with his Haki. And Issei just sees Rainaire almost stab him in the back, but Issei only gets cut a little bit and says, I'm not gonna let you try to kill me yet. We still have a lot to do, my dear ex-girlfriend. And this is when Issei just grabs something. He grabs a pole. He grabs a pole from the ground that was at least left from the explosion that just happened, and just says, "Shall we all have this fight?" He basically uses Haki and infuses it with the freaking weapon. And Issei just starts getting ready to charge and just blocks the attacks that are happening. Issei just chucks it. He chucks it through the freaking air, hitting Mathilde in the arm. Oh, sheesh. Alright, I should not have thrown that in the air. I mean, I should not have thrown that in the air. But, anyway, Issei jumps up in the air, actually, coincidentally, and dodges one of the attacks. But Rainaire actually gets to him and stabs him in the stomach. This is when Issei is just falling to the ground. And Issei gets up and gets healed by Asya. And he realizes that, I forgot you have that. It's a good thing you can heal me. Otherwise, I'd probably be dead on the ground right now. And this is when the four of them just throw their light spears at Issei's, at the floor where Issei was at. And basically an explosion happens with Issei falling to the ground. This is when Issei tries to get back up, but Mathilde just kicks him in the face, and the girl with the red dress just slams her body onto Issei's back. Issei actually feeling the whole shockwave of it, and falling down to the ground, or head first hitting the ground, just looks up and just sees that Rainaire's right there, and she just places her high heel on his face and just says, "You poor dog. You really thought that you could beat us? You were very mistaken. I learned the first time after fighting you not to go at you alone. Heck, you probably would have gotten the two of probably would have won if there was only two of us. But this is me and my team, and we all fight as one at times. So that way people who think that they're overpowered like you could lose, and we get to relish the whole I'm in agony situation." But before she tries to stab him, Asya says, "Please, let him be. If I go, will you spare his life?" And she says, "You know what? Yeah, I got what I needed. And that's you, my sweet little angel." And this is when Issei just looks at her, and Issei tries to get up, but his back is like all crooked right now. And he looks in the sky and says, "Huh, I won't let this slide, you know." Issei just starts getting upset, and his eyes just start spacing out. His eyes that were once black just had this white aura around it. And Issei was about to just let the biggest explosion out of his whole body. But before he could do that, he fainted. Rainaire just saying, You're lucky that I'm so compassionate. Let's go." And they all teleport away. Issei's on the ground right now, and he's in the hospital, just sleeping, saying, "Where am I?" And this is when he meets a guy named Drake, and he says, "Hey, what are you doing here? Go. You're not strong enough just yet. Once you at least unleash your power or gain even more power through somehow, I will let you talk to me. But for now, you shall go." And Issei says, "Well, wait a minute, this is my mind." And this is when Drake just roars and says, "Yours, huh? Well, I said get out of here." And just blast Issei to his... Well, he blasts Issei awake. Now, Issei looks at her nurse, and he's wondering where is he at. This is when Issei's parents just wake up, and Sona's right there, with Issei in the ground, saying, "Oh, Sona, you're here. And Mom, Dad, sorry that I made you guys worried." "Worried? We heard that you got attacked by a bunch of thugs. And all the training that I helped you with. How did you lose?" Well, I'm glad you're okay." Issei says, "My friend, she's in trouble." Sona says, it's alright. Right now you're probably just thinking about weird delusions in your dreams. The only girls you talk to are the ones in the club room." Issei says, "The club room?" And Issei just says, "Oh yeah, the club room." And this is when Sona says, "Don't worry, Mr. and Mrs. Hyoto. I'm gonna take care of him myself." And this is when Sona just says, "What happened to you, Issei?" Issei says, I'm sorry, but I lost. The girl that was a nun, she ran away, but then we both got attacked. And in the end, I ended up losing. I wonder what would have happened if I just fought more. If I trained myself. I wasn't ready to face her because I lost. And that guy just didn't do anything. She says, "What guy?" And this is when Issei remembers to himself that there was a guy. Shit. What the fudge was that? Alright, my bad. I don't know what just happened, but I just heard like a thing. But anyway, Issei saw this guy with a red coat over his body. He had a mustache, and he had black hair parting through the middle of his head. And not only that, he also saw him smile at him and giving him a thumbs up. Issei says, I probably was delusional that day, or probably didn't get enough sleep. And Issei says, but I gotta save that girl. And this is where she says, no, I won't let you do that. And he says, I'm not a part of your peerage, remember? So whatever you think you're gonna do, you could save it. And she says, but she's not a student. And Issei says, I don't give a damn whether she's a student or not. She's my friend, and she needs our protection, because we're the only ones that can protect her from bad people. What do you think, the cops are gonna do something? Give me a break. If you want to sit by the sidelines, go ahead. But I will protect. I will not just let her go suffer alone. Sona just says, alright, if it means so much to you, I will do it. And Issei says, do what? I will send out my peerage and basically help rescue her. And this is when Issei just says, alright, it's a deal. And this is when the whole saving Asio operation will start next time. Hopefully you guys all liked this video. If you do, like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout with Fear. Bye.